this is my last video ever on Pawn Erol OJ, right? I'm going to name and shame some evil people for the last time, near the end if I get that far. And so I'm going to start off by explaining what authority is and where it starts and where it finishes. And we'll take it from there. First of all, what is the type of person who wants to see themselves as being an authority? You must respect my authority! That's the type of person. That's the male type of person. And what about the female type of person? You better do what I fucking say. And if you say, why? They'll say, 'cause I fucking said so! And that's who rules the country. That's who rules the fucking world. They're all the same. At my previous video, Erol On Monetards, I exposed them with a bit greater, finer tuning than Erol On Unitards, which I did the better part of a decade ago, and they're still committing crimes against me. Those wonderful bastards. So anyway, let's start off with, let's start at the very bottom as usual. Now, who's at the very bottom of authority figures? What are authority figures? Well, the kind of people who can abuse their position to carry out an act of evil. So do you know, I think it's quite important that we brain scan those fuckers, because the front of the brain of a sociopath doesn't fucking work. They're not to be trusted. They are literally the scum of the fucking earth. And they might even try and kill me for that, saying that. Anyway, so you might say the lowest rung might be teachers or nurses. I repeat, the nurse, wait for it, she can go to a psychiatrist and say, or a doctor, stroke psychiatrist, they're all the same to me, bastards. So anyway, basically she can go to them and say, I've met Erol and I think he's got the mental of the health, which is the problem of the sociopaths, get it? I'm a fucking sociopath, please. Now, we can weed out shit like that. All we have to do, I repeat, is obligate every single person in every so-called seat of authority to have an fMRI brain scan, which I call the brain pass. You know, like, you can't get on an airplane without a passport. You shouldn't be able to get a job in any figure of authority as without a fucking brain scan. And I believe you shouldn't be allowed on the internet without a internet pass. You know, where it must be you who's doing what they're doing. Then we could come down hard on those bastards who fucking have hated me since I fucking started this 14 years ago. But who's counting? So, like I say, so there's the wee nurse. I'm a fucking nurse, I'm a typical nurse. I've got shite behind my eyes. What's this? Saying that nurses have got shite behind their eyes? Oh, see now, he's to go to jail. For the umpteenth time. Yeah, I'm still at it. So anyway, the witch, pretending to be a nurse, right, has gone to this quack, wait for it, and these pieces of shit, and you don't know this, right? These pieces of shit are part of a fucking network, a nationwide network. It spans the entire fucking earth if you want to go from top to the very bottom. So to cut a long story short, to simplify, the people who are in charge behind the scenes, whom I'll come to, can basically say to the quack, I fuck him. Fuck him. And that's it. You wait for it. So that nurse, who's a piece of shit, who just envies the fact she can't get into your life to control you, maybe even get out with you, maybe even have babies with you. But the point is, don't walk, run. So the point is that she's redirected that. And then the doctor usually gets about £90,000 from the Freemasons, those wonderful fucking... so basically, you know, they give so much for charity, and they're possibly evil incarnate. So anyway, so they want to know everything, those wee assholes. Their lives are shite, they're bored shitless, they're not worth speaking about or thinking about. Their life isn't worth living, as I've said. and they've no self-awareness, blah, blah, blah. Again, if we brain scanned everybody, we could sideline shite like that so that they become ostracised. I'll say it all the way throughout this gig, right? Calls it a gig, and there's nobody at it. Who are you then? Got me there, and my trousers were down and everything there too. I'm a fucking moron. I repeat, so the Freemasons find out about the nurse targeting the person she wants to abuse through a quack. They contact the quack, wait for it. They give him £90,000 if the Freemasons don't like that person because they won't become a fucking Freemason, because they don't want to associate with walking shite. Hey, the scum of the fucking earth, right? Wait for it. There are 6.5 million of those bastards circling the earth, and there's only one of me, and that's how brave I am. Erol is Turkish for brave. Yeah, not fearless. You know, if someone jumped out with a gun and shot me, I'd go, "Oh, here, what's going on here?" You know. Anyway, to cut long story short, so the quack then takes the £90,000 and does what the whore nurse, well, they're both whores. In fact, all Freemasons are whores as well. They've sold their soul. It doesn't get a bigger whore or a smaller whore than that when you think it through. So therefore, you go now, you're sectioned based upon a nurse. A nurse, she has that authority that she can lie to another liar pretending to be a doctor, like most doctors are. Fucking liars. It's just like lawyers. And so basically, corrupt bastards. And so basically, we need to get rid of that shite. Wait for it. If we don't, from the bottom up, it gets worse, because if she can't get her way and have you sectioned, she then tries to find a way in one and up one in an imaginary pecking order. Wait for it. Until she finds it's shite exactly like herself who are in charge. And that's then, wait for it, she joins the occult. These fucking lunatics that go down the woods with broomsticks up their arse, you know, and carry out acts of evil for sexual pleasure in the woods, and pretending it's to do with their gods and all this. I'm not going to go into gods. You know, I'll just spell their God out for them. G-O-A-T. It's quite close to the word God. Maybe we're right, maybe God is a goat. Anyway, so we need to get the brain past, and what is it? An fMRI brain scan that shows you live what parts of your brain are processing sugar. They're active, and if they're not active, you don't have them. You don't have a connection there. And if you're not connected to the front of your brain, most people finally have come to the same conclusion I came to a long time ago. You know, and basically what they say is they believe what I've said for so long is correct. There's no such thing as a psychopath. Not all of them think that, though. But all of them think a sociopath is self-made. They make themselves into a mental quadriplegic. And you think to yourself, what the fuck? How could you do that? Well, because they're not really to blame to start with. You know, nobody chooses the size of amygdala to be born with. However, we all know right from wrong. From the cradle to the grave, we all know right from wrong. It's just they get off on wrong so much and don't want to blame themselves for it. So the moral law of divinity says, well, there you'll stay. There you'll stay, the wind will change, and you'll stay that way unless you fucking start feeling remorse. Blaming yourself, feeling guilt for your evil that you get off on. Become a better person, and then you can ascend into your next life form, where you get to, you know, be reincarnated as a higher form of life. Can you imagine? Here's the thing though, here's another thing. You might call them full-term abortions. Do they choose to be that? No. Most pregnancies are aborted. Most people don't know that. It's just the woman's body saying, see ya, I don't believe in you. It's a computer in a bag. It's got it's got a high standard. Unfortunately for us though, it's standard for people who are soft in the head. You've heard that phrase, haven't you? being soft in the fucking head. You've heard it. Yeah, if you take the brain of a paedophile out and the brain of a superhuman out and compare them, this one, as well as not functioning prefrontally, it's soft in the actual brain. They are soft in the head. And they never do anything to fucking mature it. Instead, what do? They go hunting to find shite exactly like themselves, who are in a fucking global paedophile ring now that's 6.5 million strong, of these assholes who also are using high-tech equipment you've never thought of in your life to pinpoint people, destroy their life, kill them. I was hit by a directed energy weapon. Directed energy weapon. For no reason at all. Well, not because I did anything deliberately to offend people with that kind of weaponry. No, I was just sitting minding my own business. I was thinking about going to the bathroom, and basically next thing, fuck me, they hit me with this DEW, and that was me. Bong! I genuinely thought that was it. I thought my life was over. I thought, well, I've lasted not bad, you know. I mean, almost halfway through my 6th decade of life. I look not too bad on it. However, I've deliberately put on, for the 3rd time of doing it, 17.5 stone all in. I've done it 3 times now, and I'm going to lose it all again, and this time coast until I'm spirited away, you know, to heaven, right? Where I'll be in love. And I'll meet one of the greatest men I ever met in my entire life, Saint Old Les. I'm carrying out works of charity for him in his absence. You know, he tried to help me enormously because when he was dying, he wanted to earn his wings. Oh, by fuck, he earned them. He earned them. He absolutely fucking detested Freemasons. Did everything he was capable of to get them to fuck and try and stop them from invading and destroying his life. Which takes me back to nurses and doctors. Right? Now, so you know a nurse can destroy your fucking life, because wait for it, if a doctor says, "I'm afraid, Mr. McBride, I'm afraid you've got the mental of the health problems. I need kicked through my fuckhole. I'm an evil, greedy bastard. But I know the Freemasons and the police force are in on it with us. We're all in it together, so I can get away with this. And I got £90,000 to have you sectioned. Winning!" That's your typical doctor. At least in Scotland. Globally. And so, you know, wherever I've gone, fuck me. It's dial a retard, you know, just fucking, it's the postcode lottery. Whatever retards within an arm's length or a few streets away, you know, they get a message on their phone because they've put themselves into what I call the postcode lottery. And it's for people who will commit any crime against anyone because they know they're part of this system. And basically they get paid thousands like that to carry out whatever act of evil it is. So here's a type of evil, you ready? Sensitise, right? If you want to destroy someone's life, you can do it in plain view. You've got the backing of corrupt police, corrupt doctors, corrupt nurses, corrupt lawyers, corrupt judges, corrupt prosecutors, blah, 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 blah. They're all in it together. And basically what they do is they try and sensitise you. Their ambition is to sensitise you so much, all they need to do is drop a pin. Just drop a pin 2 miles away. And if you hear it, you go, "Oh, those fucking bastards are at it again. Those fucking bastards. Will they ever leave my nut alone? Leave my nut alone. I'll fucking you." That's what they want. They're wind-up merchants. They see the people they target as being wind-up toys. Wind-up toys. But the wind-up toys are actually the whores that they hire to carry out these acts of evil, all connected in the nationwide global network paedophile ring, below which are the witches, and basically, and below which are the people who just want to bully people to ameliorate against what they've become, a mental quadriplegic that only has itself to blame for what it chose repeatedly to become, no matter how many times they were punished for it. What do? Just get worse. In one, up one, in one and up one, in an imaginary pecking order, right? So they can get worse to people. What type of person? Me! Me! Man, I'm the type of person that shit like that gravitate towards higher perches to abuse, because I used to let them have it. When a serial killer, paedophile, same thing, I call them whatever you want, Freemasons, pagans, the occult, you know, those wonderful people. It was basically, I would deconstruct whatever hate mail they would send me on a daily basis. And then I would do a video about it. And you can see my videos dated all the way back 14 years. And this is the last of them. Privilege, hey! So anyway, I've no interest anymore in doing videos about porn, Erol, or G. You know, I'll leave them with my name in the middle for them to work it all out. And my future videos are not about that, and they can look to my past videos if they want to learn something. Anyway, so basically, so in and up one, and I repeat, when they get in one and up one, whether that's to be like a higher level or stage of the police farce, as I call it, or to become, you know, a judge or whatever they try and get up to, they discover the world is run by mental quadriplegics who hate men like me because I have a full fucking huge brain going on here, and I'm loving, and all I want is to give, and all I want to give is what will help everybody. Everybody on the entire planet will benefit from my next video and subsequent output, you know, because I intend to make the purest food, especially for infants, the purest food and the purest products to help people just understand what they didn't understand when they were smoking. And, you know, the television told them to keep smoking, that smoking's good for you, you know, and of course, smoking isn't good for you. So, I'm going to give you everything you can take, right, so you get to this stage. When I say to you, do you know that borosilicate is the only glass you should be drinking from? Your reply should be, everybody knows that! Everybody knows that! If I say to you, 316 grade stainless steel is the only type of metal you should use in your kitchen, this is the reply I want. Everybody knows that! Everybody knows that! I know that! Everybody knows that! It's not really asking for the moon on a stick, is it? No. However, I'll cover it all in Erol On Small Change. I might change it to small changes. I'm not sure yet. Stay tuned, you bloody... So anyway, that's what I want to do with my life, not waste what's left of my life. Exposing pornology, you know, I'll leave it at that. I'll name and shame those who have named and shamed enough in the past, I think, a couple of times anyway. I'll just name them at the very end and expose some of the crimes they've committed against me. And basically, because I've got a very strong mind, give it 5 minutes and I forget that, that they've committed, wait for it, 34,000 crimes against me. What? You should say, everybody knows that. Because in the end, everybody should know that. However, what am I saying? Am I saying there should be a war? You know, because these wee bastards are in charge of your police farce, your serial killers that you call police soldiers, and they're in charge of people who can section you like that, people who'll come around your house and kill you, burn your house down. Are you that kind of a person? Well, that's who you're up against. So, do we want that? No. What do we want? I've said it a million times in the past, I think. Ostracise them. That's it. Ostracise them. What does it mean, ostracise them? Anyway, basically what it means is we do the brain scan, right? And any of them who don't have prefrontal brain function, we do emotional intelligence tests, find out what size their amygdala they inherited was, and then we sideline them if they are mental quadriplegics, who essentially, especially if people have complained about them, and that's what we need. We need a complaint culture where we can mobilise people to solve the problem. For example, a dad's army. Yeah, used to be a show called that, the Dad's Army, or Dad's Army. And basically all it is we become a fucking network ourselves. And we go to where any people are complaining and sort it fucking out. We believe, keep our minds open. You know, do you know that neuro-linguistic programming can help you? However, when you're dealing with remote neural monitoring, that gets a bit more difficult. I need a bit more help. And the best help you can get is to broadcast it. Broadcast everything to people who should care. However, Julian Assange, know him? Yeah? Where was our dad's army? When he sat in the Ecuadorian embassy eating crisps for a better part of a decade, and then an evil politician I'll come to, she has him thrown into jail. And all along he knew, he was told by an informant, I believe, if he went to America where they were trying to extradite him to, what they're called now, the CIA, people with no intelligence have to have an agency to give themselves intelligence, to gather intelligence. They don't have any. They're as thick as mints. They don't develop beyond infancy. Most sociopaths are an insect stuck in an infant's brain. That's an insect stuck in an infant's brain. And they're in charge. So, in a nutcake, what we could do with people like Julian Assange who get arrested, we should know all about this. We should be blowing the horn on this. We should have a dad's army looking for jobs like this. You know, whether it's helping children in the community have a better standard of living, or whether it is speaking to people in prison and finding out that they're innocent and the victim of these authority figures, right, who will go on and tell you, respect my authority! Because I fucking said so! Anyway, so we don't have that. And so even though all these people would have told you it's dreadful, Julian Assange being locked up for exposing the fact that soldiers are serial killers who enjoy the job. Hey! He had video footage of that, and that's why they sent him to the Gulag. Now, obviously what we should have done, connected with our mobile phones, I'll speak about that later. The point is, we should have organised ourselves so 40,000 dads circumnavigated, encircled the prison he was in, or the Ecuadorian embassy before it. You know, when it got as far as prison, for fuck's sake, I mean, what's wrong? We can't get 40,000 men to circle a prison. We get them to show up at football games every bloody week in their tens of thousands. How come they won't show up and get united to free Julian Assange, who wanted to help us understand the shite ruling everything, who're in charge of everything, right? This is the last video I'll talk about this. And next video is just solution, comedy, solutions, comedy, and that's it. And, you know, I'll leave it to the dad's army if they should ever come into existence. They should do, or they're not a really good dad, are they? So, in a nutcake, what they should have done before it, or at least after he was put in prison, 20,000 round that side, 20,000 round this side, and you know, about maybe 200 that come and go to bring meals and or, you know, like it's their turn to go and take a piss, and he comes in his place, you know, piss turns, and what that means is no one can get in or out of the prison, right? And we just keep it there, 40,000 in a ring, you know, updating, changing, in and out, essentially. Most of the majority of the time, the 40,000 are there, right? And that's it, and they stay there until Assange is let out. Now, if I if I was to try and publicise my comedy, you know, the odds of me being sectioned, imprisoned or murdered are quite high. Told you I'm brave. And so the thing is though, I just can't be arsed anymore. I just can't be arsed. You know, the people who agree and believe what I'm saying, after they think, oh here, that's quite bad what's happening to Erol. I mean, 34,000 crimes, and like heinous ones as well as petty ones, and it's a regular basis over 14 years. I think we should do something about this. Right, give it 5 minutes. Margot, can you give me a bag of crisps? I'm going to watch X Factor. I've got fuck all behind my eyes as well now. So you can see my motivation, my compunction, how cool and correct it would be for me alone have 6.5 million paedophiles called Freemasons after me. Now, not all of them are paedophiles, almost all. Right? Then you've got the Masons beneath them, many of whom know it and turn a blind eye and blind ear to it, you know. You've had a blind ear. So anyway, to conclude, from now on, they can go fuck themselves. You know, I've given as much advice morally based upon the moral law of divinity that I discovered when I was 26. I discovered that the moral law of divinity returns whatever you put out. Simple as that. With me, the returns are great because I'm fucking great. And so, whereas their returns are remarkably slow because love is so great, it gives them a chance to fucking develop the front of their fucking brain. All they have to do is fucking feel remorse, yeah? Feel guilt, yeah? Show compassion, not with one hand and take it away with the other. You know, just fucking quit your evil, you know? Stop being a bloody hypocrite and take account of the remorse you must feel. It doesn't have to feel like shame, however, it is shameful. Now what am I going to talk about? Right, so we know, right, I've met loads of nurses who've told me, I get paid the money, I know that you there's nothing wrong with you, I get paid the money, now I'm going to act something out to you. You couldn't make that up. They basically act out what to me sounds like hateful baby speak. Hateful baby speak. The ones behind targeting me for 14 years, right, it turns out are obsessed with remote neural monitoring, i.e. watching, using high-tech equipment. They watch, just like you're watching me now, they can watch using a very high-tech piece of equipment that has to be taken off those stupid babies by Dad's army. Right? So, wait for it. They're all in it together and you're supposed to worry, oh no, that's a conspiracy theory. People don't conspire against each other in every walk of life, even though they do. So basically, so they conspire and they're given a script. Say this, say that, do this, and you walk in and you do that, and you shout that, and be hateful towards them, and say, 14 years. Right? It doesn't end there. 14 years of them hiring nurses, doctors, who else? Judges, anti-social workers, as I've said, the police farce, you name it. Any one of your so-called authorities who don't have a brain pass, therefore shouldn't be in that positions, they can't be fucking trusted. They've all been quite hateful towards me. I just thought it was par for the course. People have been hateful towards me my entire life. I've never personalised it, you know. And so, in a nutcake, they doing that for years. What I didn't realise was though, whenever I'd walk past a car, somebody would get out of the car and go, bang! Right? They would bang their car door. I just thought, just common occurrence, right? Then I'd be walking past another car and bang, right? And fuck, There's another person banging their door really, really loudly. Never thought anything of it. And what's it called? Sensitization. Right? Right? Evil bastards. It's something they can hide in plain view. What about this, right? Instead of just you walking down the street and people going bang, bang, right? Instead of that happening, right, and you're on your own, take someone with you, right? And basically just tell them, look, you probably think I'm fucking nuts, but here's exactly what's going to happen before it happens. And I want you to have no reaction to it. Just let me know when you know it's actually happening. It is actually a thing, an evil thing that they're doing, right? Then basically sit in your, you know, your living room with them and explain, look, they hire whores non-stop all day fucking long to drive up and down the road at 50 mile an hour. When I first moved in here, and for the subsequent 5 years, nobody drove past here. Maybe one car every 15 minutes. Now it's ba-dum, ba-dum, it's fucking lorries just bum, 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 right? For fucking 5 years. I genuinely didn't notice it myself. They're obsessed with it though, those fucking assholes. Notice I didn't call them arseholes. Because it's not necessarily 100% their fault they're an arsehole. However, it is their fault they continue to choose to be an asshole. Which reminds me, one of the nurses who gave me a hard time for them, she had the strangest arse I've ever seen. It can only be described as an hippopotam arse. If you're American, hippopotam ass. And she was really nasty towards me. She went all like that to me, as though I should like see her as this fantastic higher figure who's never wrong and always good. Does that seem like someone who's always right and always good? You know, or did I say never good? Anyway, the point is, yeah, they're never good, except the wee tokens they make, right? Like Lucy Letby, is that her name? Yeah, she only killed a few babies. Come on. Nurses are fantastic people. What about the ones who were recently arrested for injecting all the old people in their geriatric ward so they could play cards in silence whilst eating pizza? Oh, come on. Any nurse is allowed to inject pensioners to shut them up so you can play cards in peace. NHS, that's what it's called in Britain. The nation's home of serial killers. The nation's home of serial killers. Or you can change that to sociopaths. Now, where was I? Right, so, sensitisation. Right, so, they get in your room and you're teaching this guy who's with you. You know, look, listen to all that fucking shit that's happening outside. You get the idea. Now, that happened for 5 fucking years. People slamming the front door of the building I'm currently living in, you know, and have lived in for 5 years. I'm about to move, hopefully. Although they might try and stop him from getting somewhere. We need to hold him back. Let's do a sponsored go slow. Hire many whores to stop him. Which has happened quite a few times. I didn't know it was always them. In the end, you realise it's them and always them. You start, oh right. You eventually realise, oh fuck, they're trying to sensitise me. They're evil bastards. And so, I repeat, what they want is for somebody to drop a pin, ding, 2 miles away, and your reaction, right? That's what they want, evil bastards. It's a red rag to their bull if you have any reaction at all. They want your attention. Why? Because they're fucking insects. And insects stuck in an infant's brain that they chose not to develop. And so get punished, and will be punished to the day they fucking die unless they heed what I'm saying and develop themselves. The brain is alloplastic. Fucking grow your mind. Stop all evil and grow your mind. It's only your loss if you don't. You know, so we understand what sensitisation is, right? Everywhere you go, there's a postcode lottery. Wherever I go, I'm today's whore. Right, and behind them, I'm today's whore. And behind them, I'm today's whore. And what do? They'll either say something hurtful, ideally. I've never been hurt by them, I have to say. However, they have tried their best, and in the end told me that I've hurt them. They're so false. I don't know, maybe I did fucking hurt them. However, I don't intend to, and I don't intend to anymore. There's 6.5 million of them. How many videos do you think I could squeeze that into? Already done. You can look through all my videos going back 14 years and you'll see my progression when it comes to my knowledge of pornology. So anyway, so the person with you, who has to be with you for a month and a half, right? And everywhere you go, everything you do, whoever you meet, they must witness it, knowing that it's sensitization. But they want a kind of premature version of that on your part. They want you to tell people like your sister or your next door neighbour who might be in on it. And basically they would then say, I think you've went mental. Now they've either been paid to say that or they genuinely believe that. It's understandable. You know, that if you're, I'm not going to do it again, if you go over everything that I've described and acted out, you understand someone who genuinely cares about you and is not up that fucking pecking order, who's not on the take. A lot of greedy sadists out there. So the point is, initially, they'll say, alright, you're insane, well, you need to come with us and fucking recover. Let's put you on these drugs. How you feeling now? I can't feel my own toes. I've been asleep for the last 2 days. Right, that's what they want for you, right? So just you shut it and let them move on. However, they'll be back soon. And so, to conclude, basically, if you have someone who you can trust, who you know is not a good person, who you think is a good person, right? Almost Freudian slip there, right? Somebody who you genuinely believe is a good person, then tell them everything as briefly as possible and then leave them to it. Make sure they visit you every day for a month and a half. But then, at least there's one person in the world that knows they're trying to sensitise you. Why? Well, the answer is they want to sensitise you so you're suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. They'll even dictate to you, don't get angry when we commit another crime against you. It's just a petty crime, one of 34,000. Don't get angry at us, or we'll get even worse. And hit you with a directed energy weapon, even when you've not thought about them once in a quarter of a decade, and done no wrong to them, never instigated any form of communication with them of any kind at all ever. Boom! What the fuck? So that's basically what leads to tenderization. So, PTSD, that's what they're hoping for. And maybe C, PTSD complex. So you'll have difficulty explaining it to anybody and it'll be really hard to overcome it and regain your, what they call energy. I call it, they're trying to exhaust you. That's what I'm trying to say. Trying to fucking exhaust you every way they can. And then that in turn sensitizes it and then tenderises you until you then join their cult of madmen, madmen and mad women. And basically, if you don't, they'll just keep doing it until you die. How? Commit suicide! Right? Now, if after this video I commit suicide, you know it's just another murder. Right? Just another murder. After this video comes out, like I say, if I'm killed by some of the demon drivers I've been alluding to, if I get killed by one of them, it's murder. And basically it happens on a regular basis and there's 6.5 million paedophiles behind it. But you're not supposed to know that. That's conspiracy theory, you know. I work them out. You know, they're the conspirators. I work out their theories. So they're the conspiracy theorists. And they're obsessed with saying You are what I am. You are what I am. You're doing what I'm doing. You should do what I should do. I am what you are. You are what I am. 14 fucking years. If you don't believe me, go and watch Erol On Unitards. Right? And you'll see, fuck me, how long I've been exposing this for, you know. And then Erol On Monetards in February of this year. it was been one of the last ones I was going to record, and this is the last one. After this, I repeat, it's just fun and solutions. Evil can go fuck itself, right? And basically, I just can't be arsed. You know, I'm Julian Assange at times, whatever. You know, and I repeat, most people, even if they're incensed by this, will just go back to eating crisps. So what the fuck should I risk my life for? When I can do great good out there, enormous great good by infants and people of all ages and all walks of life, all religions, blah blah blah. Why should I fucking expose myself to a 6.5 million strong, the ring that binds them all, according to J.R.R. Tolkien, all of whom have high-tech equipment to kill you with directed energy weapons, or through corrupt scumbags, imprison you, section you, whatever. Should I? I know I'm brave. However, the problem is as well, they spread slander about me. And that's what they'll do with everybody in order to try and get people on side to abuse you really close to you. And so, like I say, don't believe their slander about me. Because basically what they do is they magic away years of their crimes against you, hundreds of thousands, and basically they look at your reaction. Remember, they're wind-up merchants and you're just one of their wind-up toys. And if you give them something they can take out of context and use it against you and say, oh, Erol, right? Erol, after us committing 2.5 years of crimes against him, right, he started retaliating verbally. Look at all the videos he's recorded for 14 years trying to help people understand people like me. Right, magic that away, right? And basically, then when we reached about a third of a decade, we revealed ourselves to him. And he fucking said, right, cheerio then, I'll not retaliate ever again. What did we do? We got up the next day, Groundhog Day, in 1984, and continued to commit more crimes against him. Until eventually he retaliated. And then we take that out of context and make him seem like a very bad person, because some of us have got mental, physical, psychological, medical things wrong with us. And like eventually targeted one of those. We take that out of context. That magic's away hundreds and thousands of crimes, and us being the instigator and perpetuator of countless crimes against him in every country he's ever been in. I need to be kicked through my fuck hole, please. And he's meant to be in charge. Give it 5 minutes. And they'll say, no, it's the other one who's in charge. And they'll say, no, it's one totem pole of bags of shit impaled ass to fucking mouth, right? Who just take turns at playing, how do you call it, musical seats, I can't remember the names of it, you know, the musical chairs, and pass the parcel. I'm the good cop. 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 And then one of them does something disrespectful towards you, and then you let them have it. And it hurts them all because they're all in there, they're all conspiring. And then get him, fucking section him, kill him, put him in prison, steal all his money, turn more people against him, spread our slander, more ambient abuse. Right, about half a year ago, I actually filmed one of their crimes. Loads of their crimes, right? An Erol on ambient abuse, right? Halfway through it, you'll see the demon drivers who had no demon drivers for 5 years until these fucking lunatics put in an appearance again, trying to see if I'll join the dark side. What the fuck? Anyway, basically, no, not for fame nor fortune. I just want to give from a safe distance through a personal assistant, ideally, and just give everything I've got to help the poorest have the purest. Evil bastard, isn't I? So anyway, to cut a long story short, so don't believe their slander about me. They are the instigator and perpetuator of literally now thousands of crimes against me. If you hire every whore, if you count every whore that they've hired, it's no exaggeration to say in 14 years, 34,000 whores they've had. It's a fucking massive network, and I don't give a fuck about it, I don't want anything to do with it. I just want you to understand, if they're trying to sensitise you, don't give any agent provocateur room in your head without rent. Right? If they're not paying you rent, but here's the thing, right? Every so often they do give me money. They bought a farm I was in a million years ago in Portugal. One of my 3 farms, although I could make it 4. So the point is, my next farm should be on the island in Scotland where I'm going to do everything from. I repeat, as long as they gonna get to fuck. As long as they get to fuck. Right? And so, in the meantime, they genuinely have, at key moments, given me money. They've also robbed me of lots of money, or the appearance of robbery and the perpetuation of being pursued for money for 6 years. There was fun characters. So anyway, so recently, and about maybe, say about 6-7 years ago, something like that, they have, given me money I'm entitled to, but probably wouldn't have got had they not done whatever they did through the network. So that's not why I'm not exposing them anymore. I'm not a fucking whore, you cheeky bastard. No, I genuinely, I'm sure Julian Assange, if he was given the opportunity, right, to start exposing the CIA again, those wonderful intelligence or agencies who have no intelligence, if he was today given proof to prove soldiers are serial killers who are excited about killing people, hiding in plain view, and getting off on it, right, laughing hysterically as they blow up children with high precision, pinpoint accurate weaponry, right? If he had the opportunity to do that again, he would say fuck off, wouldn't he? He would say no. A decade in prison, with people saying, oh look, we want him to be released for around a decade, and they don't even show up like a dad's army to get me out. It's your fucking prison, it's your police farce, it's your kangaroo courts, it's your politicians. But they've got you believing it's theirs. Because there's so many puppets with an elbow sticking out their arse. You think, surely that can't be the case, that almost every politician is a puppet. Every politician in Britain, almost everyone actually, is a puppet, with a paedophile's elbow hanging out of their arse. And there's local ones who are just as bad, whether they go to the Parliament millions of miles away to work out what should happen to you on your doorstep millions of miles away, when the person next door might not even know your fucking business, unless you're me. So anyway, all I'm pointing at is every person in authority of any kind at all, you don't need to wait outside the prison anymore or anything like that. Just fucking brain scan, fMRI, brain scan. So they've got a brain pass to prove that the front of the brain works, right? Morally, conscience, compassion, intelligence, emotional intelligence. If they don't have it, just ostracise them. Don't kill them. Don't plot anything against them. Remember, there's over 100 million of them on the books that I know of. Over 100 million. You can't fight over 100 million, especially when they've got their finger on the pulse of the network and can dictate to your police, your soldiers, your puppet politicians, right? They can dictate to them what to do and to put you into the system. And so they put me into the system. If I wanted to enter the system, because I thought to myself, it would make everything go away the way I wanted it to go away. I was led to believe I'd morally reformed one of the whores they sent into my life. I thought I'd morally reformed her, you know. and so I was just going off to Ethiopia to work with the poorest farmers on earth. Evil bastard that I am. However, they pursued me. And so I'm probably best off just rounding it off here and going on with some of the crimes they've committed against me, right? Although I think I've probably covered it. And so, like I say, I'll leave it to Dad's army, right? And I'm not in the least bit surprised. They're probably just going to say, give us a bag of crisps, Angie. I'm going to watch X Factor. After everything I now know. I'm divided and conquered, please. I'm divided and conquered. Oh, how lucky we are. So just a wee tiny bit of comedy, right? Before I crack on. I'm going to give you an extra 12 to 14 years of life. One way or another, the quickest and easiest way is become vegetarian. Within 2 years, you'll not have any more illnesses. You go vegan, it'll work out the same. So I'm giving you that gift. Here's another gift, and this is only for men, right? If you're a man and you're single and you want to be with the most beautiful woman you've ever met in your life, walk up to her and do this. You ready? Excuse me. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever met in my entire life. In fact, you're so beautiful, I don't even mind that your vagina's right next to your arsehole. Ding, 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 ding. Told you it was funny. Right, you ready? It repeatedly plagued me with the police stealing from me in Portugal, using remote neural monitoring, and basically hiring whores everywhere I go to carry out acts of hatred towards me, imprisoning me on a regular basis, hiring whores to harass me, lying to my corruptible family who are about 100 strong, or 100 weak, paying a corrupt council to harass me. You've got that. Hiring countless whores to pass on cryptic messages for them, which if I don't work out, they want to kill me for not working it out. You know? Spying on everything I do, online, offline, with high-tech equipment, you name it. I repeat, hitting me with a directed energy weapon. Those wonderful characters. Trolling me for 14 years online. Downloading dream packages that unfold when I'm asleep, which makes you think, Erol's insane. I'm afraid that's possible. Hiring different whores to contradict that other whore, and you have to work out what that is. Remember? No rent in your head for agent provocateurs. Hiring the demon drivers every day. Setting up public theatre scenes wherever I fucking go. Trying to cause me ambient abuse, which is a secret weapon you must study. You can kill someone with ambient abuse or cause them to kill themselves. Trying to hurt me for 14 years, telling me I hurt them. Interfering with every aspect of my life. And asking me for compassion towards them whilst they're carrying out crimes against me. I was going to go to Greece to do some work, and I worked out that they were going to burn the house down that I was going to work on. Those fun characters, fun-loving criminals, asking countless whores to talk cryptic gibberish to me whenever they've got an opportunity, they never miss them. Hiring corrupt cops to harass me on a regular basis. Threatening me and trying to terrorise me for 14 years. I repeat, brave. I am brave. And it's time I got myself to fuck and leave them to Dad's army. Asking me to sell my soul for 14 years and making noises through the walls via neighbours they put in next door to me. And if you do show them compassion, it's never enough. They just take advantage of anything they can get and laugh whilst they're doing it, because they get off on evil. paying people to try and waste my time. My so-called crime against them was to get angry in the past, verbally. See any anger? Locking me up 4 times in lunatic asylums, which again was some of my doing, my choice. Always looking for solutions and compassion, and I repeat, the solution that ends this. And I'm doing my level best. Moving up north, taking temptation as far away from them as possible and leaving them to it. No agent provocateurs inside this head anymore. Hiring a quack, as I've said before, 90,000 to have me sectioned. Telling me I have to play my guitar in the afternoon, which helps one of them who's suffering. And I don't find that funny, and I already tried that because I didn't even have to leave the living room for that one. What did they do? Take advantage and ask me to do stand-up comedy for them. And he couldn't make it up. Taking their mental deficiencies out on me. Trying to stop anyone from coming into my life except one of their whores. You know, most people you give them 5,000 will say jump and say how high. Giving countless whores a script of lies about me. I repeat what I've already shown on my t-shirt. Don't believe the slander about me. It's all bullshit. You know, yes, I've retaliated verbally in 14 years. They've committed 34,000 crimes against me. The instigator and perpetuator of evil incarnate. So I'll now end with this. If they've got you, turn your back on them and walk away. Right? I assure you, if you do what they want you to do, they know you'll be joining them in hell for eternity. They're all going to hell in a handbasket, and I've given great theory about how to reverse that process, but they don't seem to be able to do good with one hand without doing evil with the other. And so, for them, and especially those they hire, this is the last I've got to say. I'll spare you the entire song, but if you want to listen to the entire song, read the lyrics. It's called War Pigs by Black Sabbath, and Ozzy Osbourne wrote it, the lyrics. Day of Judgment, God is calling. On their knees, the war pigs crawling, begging mercy for their sins. Satan laughing, spreads his wings. Oh Lord, yeah.